Welcome back, everyone, to StarLadder and iLeague Season 3. We're onwards to the last few matches of this event. Well, I say last few matches. This could be the last match, technically. So we've got BunnyHoppor versus Orange coming up, and this one will determine the way that, whether or not we'll have a next match. Because if, I believe, Orange ends up winning, then there's not going to be any change. 6-0 is still going to be making it through at the end of the day. But if BunnyHoppor wins against Orange, then things change, and BunnyHoppor at least takes 6-0's spot. So 6-0 will then play against Frozen. Because if his match against Frozen comes last and it doesn't change anything about the standings, well, we'll be simply canceling that match and moving on. But this could be huge. If Orange beats BunnyHoppor, nothing changes. If BunnyHoppor beats Orange, 6-0 is going to have to play up against Frozen afterwards. So we'll see whether or not that match is going to happen. For the time being, Orange on the aggro lineup, we've been seeing him. I think he's the player with the aggro lineup that's done the worst of all the players who brought it. Unfortunately for him, the strategy is sound. It seems to be working very well for all the players who did it. But unfortunately for him, the draws are just not there.
Yep, and maybe this is a time where it actually will get the draws. I mean, Zalay had a very similar situation, right? His draws were kind of obnoxious as well. Not in the good way, in the bad way. Let's see what will end up with Orange here. He still has his Mage available, so the secret Mage that was, doing so fine in the past, right? But not in not every single match, especially in those where the secrets are drawn first. That's the problem with the deck in its entirety. Like, you have a lot of synergy that works well if you get to draw those Kirin Tor Mages, if you get to draw those Arcanists, or you just get the, Arcanologist on turn 2 into a turn 3 secret, into a turn 4, or even better with the Kirin Tor, right? And then into turn 4 Arcanist. There's so much potential, but the draws need to align.
Yeah, and this is the type of draw that aligns for Orange. He's got his Mana Worm, he's got his Arcanologist, he's got a favored matchup up against Druid. So if this doesn't do it for him, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be an uphill battle. Granted, he's up against Wild Growth, the single best card in the Druid arsenal, and he's up against Wrath, but he's got so many good cards in hand. Look at the card quality for Orange. That is insane.
That is pretty insane. Yes, that's exactly what you want to do with this deck. 10-1 Mana Worm, 10-2 Arcanologist into a secret, into 3 secret for 10-3, into 10-4 Valet, into Hero Power most likely, which kills almost every single minion.
It almost doesn't matter, right? It's just whatever happens, you're probably going to be ahead by that point. The best case scenario is clearly going to be Crystal Runner. Pick up Crystal Runner off the draw, be a good player. Get yourself that free 5/5.
Or the Arcanist. The only problem might be that Orange will draw a counterspell, and that's not something you want to draw with this hand. First of all, it will not get you anything since your opponent has a coin. Second of all, you will lose the potential synergy for Medivh Valet, because you will not have the secret anymore. So it's a very tough situation for BunnyHoppor, because he knows that the coin has actual value in this case. So coining out Wild Growth makes no sense, and he needs to assume that the counterspell needs to be kept, because there are 2 counterspells in Orange's deck.
Right. You must assume that at least one of them is going to be present, or that the Arcanologist, at least right now, will be drawing it and not something else. So you might assume that if the swipe you're trying to set up, for instance, on the next turn gets defused, you need to at least have something to stop it. So the coin is going to act as a dummy to eat up the spell. Granted, it might just be wasted in some cases. That might just happen this turn if he thinks he needs to play around counterspell. BunnyHoppor just raises his eyebrow. Like, of course you got the perfect cure. Secret Mage.
That is just so insane. Fortunately for BunnyHoppor, he has 2 Wraths. So he's able, even if it's counterspell, because he will track it first, right? That was not counterspell. But now it's like oh my god, I just used a coin for no reason at all.
But you can ramp up with Nourish, right?
And then use one Wrath, right? That's an option. Because then you will have 7 mana next turn.
Seems not good really. To me. I mean, you get to kill something this turn, right?
Yeah, that's true. But
and then you can use swipe hero power to finish this up.
Yeah, the problem is just he was pushed into this because it wasn't a counter spell.
Which is, by the way, you know, statistically unlikely given the way those decks are built. Orange is just running the double counterspell package, I believe, with the entity as a one-of. So the odds of this not being counterspell, right? And
Spellbender, I think. No, wait, that was 6-0. Orange probably doesn't have it. Let me check actually.
Sometimes you see it interchanged with the Ice Block in Secret Mage, because Ice Block in Secret Mage is actually not standard, even though it is in, you know, Burn Mage. And just look at that board presence from Orange. He's zooing down BunnyHoppor.
Yeah, there's no Spellbender. But he goes wide on the board, and that's something that Druid always struggle against. Man, so odd. You can kill 2 minions right now with the hero power and the swipe.
With Mirror Entity, I don't know if I'm playing a minion here, man.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking.
Alright, let's never play a minion again in our lives. Okay, well, we're on the Wrath play. We've committed. We just gotta go for it.
Yeah, and that kills most likely Manavin.
To be fair, though, I feel like maybe he had no choice but to go on this Fandral play. Because if he went for Swipe Wrath or Swipe Hero Power, he was probably falling behind on the following turn anyway. He would have had one more mana to deal with the Hero Power weaved in. But yeah, would have been a bit clunky. Orange is doing what a mage wants to do, man. This is just perfect. Spells. You like spells, Lothar?
Yeah, I like spells. That will be a polymorph, by the way.
Well, you know
that's
what?
Better.
You might not need it.
Yeah.
To be
fair, like I would actually fireball that Fandral in this situation. Turn 6, you still have options with the glyph. And you don't want to sacrifice anything from your board, unless what you're gonna do is sacrifice Pyros this turn so you can play it next turn.
Okay, let us see what we pick up. So Orange is basically keeping that Fireball for face. He's saying, I've got Firelance Portal and Fireball in successive turns. I can probably completely blow out my opponent with raw damage output. And he might not be wrong, to be honest. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Okay.
Oh,
he's got
Jesus.
Whatever you want, man.
Dude, all face, man. Want. All face. I don't care about that Fandral.
I like that game plan.
The only reason why you would like to kill the Fandral would be a Feral Rage. I don't know, man.
I think like it's honestly in both cases you're still gonna end up ahead. The trade here with Pyros, as you alluded to, gave him a turn 6 that he otherwise didn't have unless he wanted to go for the full burn plan. So Orange taking the Pyros here, respecting that he might have to commit to the board a little bit longer before he goes off. Quite like it. Either way, he's curving. Pyros into Portal, into double Fireball. He's got everything he needs.
Well, that's 5-11 damage this turn. 12 damage if you just ping. You can also just commit to the Pyros, which is a 6-6 right now, and just push for 5 damage. Which doesn't set up a 2 turns lethal, but I feel like it's still fine because the opponent did struggle with minions in general and used double wraps. And how does it kill this guy?
How does a Druid kill a 6-6 is the bigger question, really, right? It's just so difficult baseline to deal with 4/4s and 5/5s. I mean, 4/4s are kind of your dream. But then 5/5s become complicated. A 6/6 is completely above board for you. You're just drowning.
So that's 9 damage. And you have access to Fireball and Fireball and Fireball and Fireball and Fireball.
I don't even think there's enough like armor generation in BunnyHoppor's deck to counter the burn. Like you could ignore the Auctioneer and just jam everything face, even with like Feral Rage and oh my god!
And Orange with no reaction at all. He's like, yeah, that's natural.
I mean, honestly, it kind of didn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We're getting excited about it, but it's just casual best RNG of my life.
BunnyHoppor really, it really makes a difference For us in orange, we know that it doesn't make a difference, but it's still funny.
Sure. Yeah. It's not any less hilarious. Now what is he looking for here? I mean, there's nothing, right? Even Innervate. Oh, double Earthen Scales. All right. He's picking up something he thinks is going to help him stay alive. It's probably the best draw in his deck, given that Feral Rage didn't work out here.
You can still get Innervate into second Feral Rage.
That's true.
Nope.
That is 8 damage on board. And at 14 health, BunnyHoppor knows that he's dead to a Fireball. And that is going to be the Fireball coming his way. Straight out of Orange's hand. Double Fireball, even if Orange wanted to. He's got more than enough burn in hand forever.
That Firelands Portal did 15 damage in course of 2 turns.
Yeah, it feels like I'm playing Arena. I mean, it happens, right?
Well, that was a fast game. Orange, I think, had the best possible opener, draws, and RNG effect in this game possible.
And it lined up extremely well against BunnyHoppor's spells as well, right? The coin being used up for nothing, and then everything just worked out.
And that was insane. That was like everything in favor for Orange, nothing in favor for BunnyHoppor. But those games happen. This is a card game. You see this the same in other card games as well. Sometimes you just really can't win.
I must protect the wild.
I mean, to be fair, there were questionable cards in the matchup. Like, the Burgley Bully, not particularly strong in this type of matchup. So I said Secret Mage baseline is favored against J Druid, but if you stack up cards like Gluttonous Ooze and you stack up the Burgley Bullies, then it's actually even more difficult for the Druid to catch up because he's got just less consistency across the array of plays that the Mage is going to be piling on him. So no big surprise there. And Orange, now switching to his aggro Paladin, picks up a much better curve than he usually does. And that usually just means that he picks up something else than 6, 6, and 8.
Frankly. Which is now something that BunnyHoppor did draw, like an 8, 10, and a 6. But at the same time, he has the access to Innervate, so that's something.
He's got an Ooze to challenge this little 3/3. Orange might be... I mean, I'd be tempted to coin out True Silver, but I know that some people...
Ward Eater better, man. I think like Ward Eater is pretty good as well. Although it plays into Swipe. So, yeah, okay, I changed my mind. It's actually horrible.
That was a quick change of mind. I like that. Okay. So when you're thinking about Swipe, you're thinking I have to play either Kings or True Silver, but Kings still leaves you vulnerable to Swipe or Wrath Hero Power. BunnyHoppor, desperate here. Played the Ooze, sees the weapon. Never in the right order.
Yeah, that's kind of unlucky.
Another 6. The top end of BunnyHoppor's deck is just showing up.
Well, you can Innervate the Behemoth. I mean, he has to do it. That's just no other play.
Yeah, there's really nothing else to do. I mean, maybe with Jade Idol, you wait 1 turn so you can go Innervate, Gadison, Jade Idol into turn 6 Behemoth naturally, but I'm not sure that's really correct. He's going to be looking for a Swipe here, or Wrath, at least close out the 6/4. Okay, that's fine. We can kill it.
Yes, fantastic.
Good. Maybe we can stabilize at some point. Give me a break, please, Paladin.
Unfortunately, the 1/1 Jade Golem is actually detrimental to BunnyHoppor's situation because Finja on 5 spells Doom.
It's not even helping. It's actually a detriment here. BunnyHoppor can ramp up with the Nourish, set up the Drake. Not enough spells in that Yogg-Sothoth, and really, he's played Feral Rage and Innervate so far, so very, very low Yogg-Sothoth power.
Maybe it's better when you have actually less spells.
That's a good point. You just roll 1 Doom instead of killing Yogg first and then trying to roll Doom after he's dead and doesn't trigger.
I mean, if you play a 10 mana minion that gets you, like, draws 2 cards and kills 1 minion, that would be actually pretty happy, right? And if you have more spells, then probably the outcome might be just awful for both sides. You will lose everything and your opponent will lose everything and you will not gain much.
All right, Orange is going to bring out the Murlocs. He's got the Megasaur in him, which is also a big deal. He's able to protect them against removal if he just finds a Divine Shield off of the Megasaur. That could be huge, and he's even got the War Leader on the back of it to then increase their strength as a whole. Let's see what he picks up. +3 health is incredible here.
Yep.
He's going to opt for +1/+1. I guess he thinks it plays around the exact same stuff.
Well, to be honest, it does. It plays around the Primordial Drake, and it gives you higher attack values. So even without the War Leader, no, you actually need to. Well, with the War Leader, without the War Leader, you still have a good trade with just 1 minion and the Truce of a Champion, so you can play the Curator on top. So I like this, because otherwise you would have to sacrifice 2 minions or the Megazord.
Sure, that's actually a pretty good point with the. Sacrificing the Megasaur is not the worst. Like next turn, how much power does Orange have on the board? He's gonna have 15 + 7. He's got 22 + 9.
I don't know, man.
He's got 31 actually. He's got 31 now. He's gonna be a little bit short unless he picks up another War Leader or a King's. If Finja kills, is there a Bluegill in that deck?
No.
But he could have another War Leader.
Yes.
So that could buff up the other Murlocs after Finja gets the killing blow. Potentially.
Man, Orange is really killing it with the draws, man. He plays well as well. But the draws are kind of like every single unlucky situation that he had in the past in this tournament. Just kind of like redeems itself, you know, right now.
It's averaging out in the series where he's going to do the most work, basically.
Yep.
And as it stands, he's going to try to pull that other War Leader. That would buff the Tide Card up to 10, and that would actually set up a lethal, I believe, for 25 damage.
There's Hydrologist, and that's about it. Because the other minion will not get pulled, but it's still a lot of damage.
Second Drake, looking pretty sweet. So, Orange has lethal with Choose Over Champion next turn. So BunnyHoppor has to yog into armor gain or health gain into a board clear. So you gotta do some work, man. You gotta do some work. Wow, that's cute.
Excess mana.
Extremely powerful plays here. Bestial Wrath concedes for BunnyHoppor. And Orange is going to get a second win on the board here.
I like that Orange has a black-orange chair. Makes sense.
Yeah, I like the style. It's beautiful. BunnyHoppor, you got Pirate Warrior to beat 3 times in a row. How do you think he's gonna fare?
I don't know, man. It's kind of like awkward. BunnyHoppor's not really feeling well in this tournament. That's my impression, at least. And now he faces he plays a rogue into a Pirate Warrior. Unfortunately for Orange, his draws are back. But BunnyHoppor is drawing the patches.
It's fine, man. It's just a setup for the Van Cleef. Okay? We're just trying to get counterfeit coin to coin out patches afterwards.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're doing that. It's happening. We're going to get Inner Rage here, 0-cost spell. Okay, no, we're not.
Well, that's a good minion in this particular matchup.
Sure, if you get there. I mean, turn 7, that's a long game you're playing against those Pirate Warriors, my friend. Mine don't last that long.
Still, it's not looking that terrible because Orange start. It's not really that powerful.
Yeah, bit of a slow start. Picks up the Frothing though. Decent trade here. Best minion he could have possibly had here. No Eviscerates for BunnyHoppor at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And now BunnyHoppor is, as you said, probably going to do, well, not patches, but a Rezo Pedal into coin Edwin. Seems like a decent option.
Maybe the only option, actually. There's no 4-drop from Orange that punishes you, so I quite like that. It does make a 5/4 out of the Frothing, but that's okay, because it trades 1 for 1. Sorry, it doesn't even trade with your Edwin, that is. So, yeah, quite like that. If you play patches, that's a mistake, because then you're buffing that Frothing up to 6/4, and then your Edwin loses all value. He's considering keeping the pedal with Blood Mage to kill the Frothing, but I can't help but think that's a mistake. Uh-oh. No. Okay, he's playing the Fraud. But that's clearly a misplay. Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Yeah, oops indeed. BunnyHoppor, what did you do? And he knows it as he does it.
Well, I feel like in this situation, Orange just doesn't care about the Edwin. He will just go face, and that's about it. Corcoran Elite, smash face, 10 damage to the Rogue, and then Rogue needs to kill the Frozen Berserker, even if he uses an Eviscerate. I mean, he would have used Eviscerate right now, so you know there's no Eviscerate.
You can make that read, yeah.
Yeah, in BunnyHoppor's hand. That means that Orange can just take the initiative, smashes upon his face. He cannot ignore the Frozen Berserker. That means that Edwin, unless there will be a top deck Eviscerate, will go into the Frozen Berserker. That means the Corcoran Elite still deals damage.
Yeah, and the best thing about this entire thing is that, or the best outcome too, is that you get to play that hook, that upgrade that is, buff it up twice potentially. So
yeah, I like this decision.
A huge weapon. So I'm told the draw.
There is the draw for the punish, but I like the decision from Orange anyway. There was a good read.
That was an extremely good play here for Orange. Does get punished though in the one-off case where BunnyHoppor doesn't find that Eviscerate out the draw. And now Orange finds the Reaper.
Okay.
That's gonna seal the game real quick.
Wait. Because
what?
I'm thinking.
Okay, think.
Hallucinate.
Lothar, do it. Go.
Hallucinate.
Hallucination into shield block. Okay.
Into Aliamo Smith.
All right, I got it from Swashbuckler. Okay, so armor gain from BunnyHoppor is still possible. Orange has every incentive in the world to jam face, go for turn 6 greenskin upgrade, and just keep pounding. But if BunnyHoppor finds the right cards, he could survive. From what I see, though, this Reaper, barring weapon removal, is going to be crushing BunnyHoppor. He's going to respect the minion. He says, I have enough charges to win this game by just buffing his weapon instantly.
Orange have no balls.
Orange, come on. We wanted to see you go face here.
Now the problem is that Tar Lord might actually be played.
And I'm greatly amused by the prospect of seeing Tar Lord stop Orange. I like the idea. The thing too to consider is that by taking that extra 6 damage, Orange is thinking I'm mitigating about 18 because there's going to be a ton of damage coming my way over the next few turns. On the flip side, there's also like that window of opportunity where the Rogue finds exactly Cold Bloods and second Eviscerate, and you find yourself dying. So, so he's got lethal over 2 turns, I believe.
The fact that this Tar Lord might actually just die because of the one attack. It's heroic strike and swing.
But that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. It just did soak up.
It soaked up the lethal. It just soaked up a lethal. It was an ice block for you, basically. So we were told by the admins, by the way, I was telling that before I screamed at the Eviscerate draw, that we'll be playing Frozen versus 6-0 after this one, it seems.
Yep,
so we will have all the matches of the day.
Alright. Alchemy Giant. Huh. Does that help? No, it's too expensive, and you have only 3 spells. Next turn, you play the big guy. And this turn... Well, this
You know what?
This
BunnyHoppor could win.
Yeah. I mean, he has 5, 9, 14 damage this turn. I don't think there's a reliable way of dealing another 4 damage this turn, but what should Orange do is just jam the captain into the cultist, just go face. What he's thinking about is that his weapon is already enough to kill his opponent, so he might actually be valuing the hero power instead of the cultist.
I mean, I don't even mind that play, yeah. That's,
So he might actually play the cultist anyway.
Now, here's a question. BunnyHoppor, if he plays Cold Bloods, has actually a pretty good chance of finding the lethal, right?
Cold Bloods, BunnyHoppor. Let me check. BunnyHoppor.
If he plays them, that could be a big deal.
No Cold Bloods.
Okay, so there's Hallucination into Heroic Strikes and...
2 Swashbucklers. That's what he has.
What are we looking at? From Hallucination, we'd be looking at Inner Rage, Heroic Strikes. Those would probably be the best, or like a prep into Moral Strike type deal. Orange is going to go for the clear on the Auctioneer. Does not want to get blown out by random card generation coming from the draw here. And he's going to get rewarded because that counterfeit coin would have possibly just ended the game in the favor of BunnyHoppor, I believe.
Good choice. Good choice. Because now, what is the problem for BunnyHoppor is if he plays the Tarlord, he needs to sacrifice his Strelzin into 1 minion anyway. That allows Orange to use the Heroic Strike, kill the Tarlord, still push for damage.
Okay, it looks like BunnyHoppor is going to go for a Coin Razor Pedal after backstab into Tarlord, lock out the entire board. And that still gives him a chance to close out this game. He's going to have to make up his mind as to what he wants to do, though. With that 5-3, I feel like you're often connecting it to face to set up a 2-turn lethal, since you have 8 mana open next turn. Orange now wondering what the hell happened. Oh! Is that enough?
My god.
Oh, the Spellbreaker drop for Orange.
No way that just happened.
There is justice in a world of random card generation, and the Tarlord from Swashbuckler was not enough for BunnyHoppor to seal his live total, and he's going to go down 3-0 to Orange's aggro lineup. What a sick match. Honestly, Orange just tore it up.
And he plays 1 Spellbreaker in his deck.
Yeah, I mean, BunnyHoppor plays 1 Tarlord. What can I tell you? You need 1 Spellbreaker for 1 Tarlord. That's all you need to win this.
What a match, man.
That was just good. So technically, we don't have to play the last match, but the players are around. They said they wanted to play it, so I'm not sure if they're ready, right now. Yeah, I was told that the players they want to play, but I was told it would be a fast match, and I'm not sure what that means. Those are details that the admins are not sharing with us casters, so we'll have some info about that. I think the break should be pretty quick, since we have just 1 more match to go, and they'll be able to seal the last of the round robin. We'll be recapping the groups before moving on to last chance qualifier tomorrow. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the last match, 6-0 versus Frozen. It'll be awesome, I'm sure.